Hi, I'm Eileen Roche, and welcome to today's episode of Between Friends. Today, we have a really fun topic. I'm going to introduce you to Embroidery Tool Shed Plus. Now, this is a new software really for Dime, but what we've done is we've pulled some of the best features from our other software programs into one very affordable package for those of you who just want to start to dabble in software. It's a great entry-level software program, and it's reasonably priced, and it's downloadable. So you can watch this episode now and then purchase it and be doing everything that I did in about 30 minutes. So where do you see what we have in store? So let's go ahead and take a look at PowerPoint so you can understand the difference. Now, many of you are familiar with Embroidery Tool Shed. That's our free program that's still free. So you can download that from our website. And in that program, you will enjoy sizing, right? Making things larger or smaller, and printing templates. There's some other features, but those are the two features that many of you really love about the free program, Embroidery Tool Shed. Now, Embroidery Tool Shed Plus is a little bit more elaborate. It has fonts, and they include some monogramming, a puffy font, and even an applique font, and lots of new alignment tools and so forth. And we're going to play with all of that. You're also going to get that transfer ability, wirelessly sending designs from Embroidery Tool Shed Plus to a brother or baby lock machine that has that ability to receive designs wirelessly. And I'm going to walk you through all of that. So I see many of you joining. We have, wow, Barbara Jones, you're joining us from Houston. I hope you're doing all right down there. I know you have bad weather on the way. And Creative Appliques, our good friend up in Virginia, she says, and all Dime software works on Mac. Yes, it does. We got Carolyn Booth in South Texas and lots of Texans here today. Vicki Luttrell in Maryland. Well, it's just delightful to have all of you joining us. So let's go ahead and let me see. I have two mice here today, right? Two different mouses. So if I get a little confused, just bear with me, right? It'll take me a moment. So what's the coolest thing? I think that the inclusion of the fonts, 17 fonts that give you complete editing ability of those fonts. And you're going to be able to arc text and create monograms. Where do you see the fun that we have? But also, one of the top things that I like to do, of course, is to print templates. So let's go ahead right into the software program. And here, now this unicorn is on the package of the software. You see this in our marketing and so forth. So I figured, well, that's a recognizable figure. So let's go ahead and start with that. So when a design comes in, it appears on the screen, and it actually appears usually like this. You just see the stitches, but you can click on this little box on the left, and that gives you a realistic view. So now it looks a little bit prettier, right? Now let's go to File, Print, Preview. And I have options here on changing my settings. So I'll just click on Settings, and then a new box appears, and it's going to tell me, the margins. I can change them according to your printer at home. And you always want to print a template in actual size, right? What's the point of printing it out in a size that's not going to be the size that you actually stitch on, right? You want to include the crosshairs because that's giving you the center point of the design, and we always work from center in embroidery. And then the color analysis is going to give you the color sequence. And you can include a backdrop if you have one, in one page, header, artworks, all that. Realistic, I always have a checkbox there, and then stitches. And then when I say, okay, this is what I'm presented with. Now I'm going to enlarge this so you can see, that's perfect. That's exactly what I want. The next page is going to be my color sequence. And in that color sequence, you're going to get the length of stitches, the number of stitches, the length of thread that you need for that segment. And it also shows you, a tiny little portion, the portion that's going to be stitched. So, this is a robust design, right? There's actually, wow, 28 colors. That's a lot of stitching. Okay, so we'll close that. Now, what if you want to stitch a horse, and maybe this is for a grown friend or sibling or something, and unicorn is not really your style. So when a design comes into Embroidery Tool Shed, it's grouped. So meaning I can move it all around as one unit. So I have the opportunity to use a icon at the top that is ungroup, and that would be highlighted now because it is grouped. So if I click on that, you'll notice that that icon is no longer available. What is available is the group icon. So I'll click that again because I want to show you that I can also select the design and right click on my mouse, and then from the drop-down menu, select ungroup. So there's often two ways to do lots of tasks in Embroidery Tool Shed and Embroidery Tool Shed Plus. So right now I am ungrouped. So notice I can click on one element and I can delete it, move it, change it, whatever I want. If I don't like what I did, I can go right up here on the screen to undo, and boom, magically it goes right back into position. Now, you'll notice over here in the color sequence, it is showing me every single segment of the embroidery design. That can get quite confusing. So it has the blue segment opened up so that I can literally see the runs, the satins, the complex fills. I can click here to close that. So now I just have all of the embroidery designs, and that's helpful. So I'm going to give you a little trick. I want to remove that yellow segment, the horn, and I could do that over here in the color sequence by searching for the yellow, just the horn. That's great. So then I will delete that. And the next segment is shadowing on the horn. So I'll delete that. And then lastly, now the eye is selected. So now we want to go over there, and there's the base of the horn, the complex fill, and I'll remove that. All right. So now we don't have a unicorn anymore. Now we have a horse. But maybe all these flowers are a little, shall we say, overkill, or just not the look you're going for, right? So I can left mouse click and drag my cursor over those flowers and delete them. Now I have to be careful that I'm not taking part of the mane of the horse, right? The horse's beautiful horsehair mane. And okay, so now I'm just clicking on these different elements and removing them. It's as easy as that. And any little stragglers that you see, you can just delete. Okay, one little snag there, and now we have what I would call a really attractive horse. At the bottom of the screen, we have 25 colors illuminated, 25 color chips shown there. So let's go ahead and remove some of them, the ones that we're not using at all. So now we're down to 16 colors. It is here that I would left click on a color chip to change the color of that chip. Why didn't that change? Oh, let's see. Okay, so why did that do that for me? Okay, so now we're selecting the blue mane, and I'm going to click on that brown chip, and it's going to change the color of the mane. And I would continue to do that for the rest of the embroidery design till I have it colorized like I would like it to be, right? So now I'm happy with this design. I would probably go over to print and print preview and print my template, right? I'd be happy with that. And most certainly the color sequence, you can see now we've reduced down to the fewer stitches because we removed the horn and all those flowers. So now I want to send this to my embroidery machine. And if you are a Baby Lock or Brother owner of a machine that has that wireless capability, you can do that right here in this software. So I just click on the wireless icon and I can send it to my Baby Lock or my Brother. And here in the office, the Baby Lock is usually available, and I'll just hit send. And when I hit send, I want you to watch at the bottom of the screen. You're going to see a blue bar that's showing you, oh, a green bar that, boom, it went. And look at that, done that quickly. I can walk over to that machine and that horse design is on the screen. I love that, just love that. Okay, so I talked about that there's a lot of fonts in here, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at those fonts. These are the 17 fonts that come with it. So you really get a variety. And you know, lots of interesting embroidery is made up of a variety of fonts. We don't always just use the same text in one embroidery design. We like to combine them. So you're going to see that fun curly Q and some of those others that have serifs and some that are sans serif, meaning very plain. And all of them are just gorgeous. You're also going to get 3 monogram fonts that have been designed specifically for monogramming. So what does that mean when a font has been designed specifically for monogramming? Well, that means that the font only includes uppercase letters and that the font is very vertical, right? We don't have a lot of slanting in monogram fonts because it just doesn't result in a pleasing look. So you're going to see these 3 monograms, the round, the interlocking, and the fishtail are all nice, straight, and vertical, just like you like. And we'll play with them in a little bit. We have some cursives and then some, plain script. So, and then of course we have that varsity puff, which everybody needs at least one puffy font because they're so fun to put on all kinds of different, projects. And of course, the Arial applique is probably, the go-to standard applique font that everybody loves to use. So let's see. Oh, okay, so I'm just going to see if there's any questions. Let's see. So we have Mickey Smith wants to know, she has cut and stitch. Can you do all this? You can do a lot in cut and stitch, but what you don't have, Mickey, in cut and stitch is embroidery fonts. You have the ability in cut and stitch to take a true type font and turn it into a complex fill, but not beautiful satins and so forth. So this Embroidery Tool Shed Plus, that's the difference, one of the main difference between that. But, great combo. If you use them together, you really have a lot of different opportunities to be really creative. Okay, so now let's go. I want to show you the properties box. So, okay, let's go ahead and take this curly Q. And we're going to copy, and I like to use my keyboard. So I am hitting on the keyboard Control C, and that's copy. And then I'm going to hit Control N as in Nancy, well, as in new for new file, and then Control V for paste. I know whoever came up with that shortcut doesn't know how to spell paste, but actually it's a V because Control P is actually print. And those commands are universal throughout all of our Dime software. Okay, so we're going to put on our 3D view just so that it looks so pretty. And of course, I can change the color of this just with selecting it and then clicking on a color chip at the bottom. But let's also take a look at our properties box. So right here in the properties box is where my font is identified. And it's also where I can control the size. It's one way to control size. So if you know you're going to be working in, let's say you're going to put this on a quilt block that's 4 inches in height. Well, and you really want to fill that 4 inches. So right here, I can put in 4, and I want to make sure that I'm going to maintain that aspect ratio, right? So I'm going to put a check mark there, change this to a 4, and notice when I hit apply, it's going to enlarge, and so did the height. So that's what that's what it means when you maintain the aspect ratio. Now, what if I need that to be 1 inches in height but 4 inches in width? Well, I can do that too. Okay, I can also do it manually by just clicking and dragging. You have to be a little careful when you do this because you can distort fonts and then they don't look all that familiar, but have a lot of fun with it. You'll be amazed at how much freedom you really do have in a font. Okay, so let's go over to last week's free design, which was that really fun 4th of July design that Deborah Jones had for everyone. Okay. And so the Happy 4th of July is a really adorable design. Now, is it grouped? It's not grouped right now. So I am going to select the whole design, and I am left clicking with my mouse cursor and dragging it across. And then I'm going to hit group. And now I want to add USA. So I'll click on text. And notice how my cursor has changed to a little letter A. Do you see that? So when you see that letter A, you know that the text tool is engaged. And whatever you click on, it's going to drop the most recently used font that was in the software. So I'm going to type in USA, all caps. And now I can select my font by name, or I can select it by first taking a look at what letters and numbers and punctuation marks are available in this font. So I'm just hovering over that window. And then if I click on it, now I can get a visual of all the fonts that are available in the software. And if you have purchased extra fonts from Dime, we do have some font collections, they would appear here at that time. Okay, so I'm just going to use the Arial, which is, kind of plain and boring, but that's okay. And then I'll click OK, and there's our USA. So let's go ahead and move USA over here. And I think now I'll select everything and get that centered. So I'm going to right click on the ruler and select center origin. And now everything will be centered and also fill the screen, which makes it easier probably for all of you to see. And let's see. Now I just want to work on the USA. When I select it, with only the arrow, right, which is our select tool, all I can do is, I can rotate it, I can increase the height, the width, the overall size, whatever, options that you want to play with. But how about if I use the text tool, and now you'll see several other tools that appear. The first thing that you see is these black diamonds in the center of each letter, and that allows me to select just that letter and do whatever I want to it. I can make it bigger, I can rotate it. You have total control over that. So let's go ahead and put it back to where it was. These blue diamonds, these little blue diamonds in between, allow me to move my letters closer together. And what it does is it pulls everything to the right of that arrow with it, right? Because, that's how we do lettering. So we're going to get into that a little bit later, but a little bit deeper. So let's go ahead and get that all back to what it was. But a really fun feature in this software are envelopes. So now with it selected and the text tool selected, that's really important. I can right click and I'm going to select envelope, and I'll do pennant right. So now look, it looks like a megaphone kind of, right? Like a pennant. And look how much fun this is, right? And maybe we make that just a little bit bigger like that. I like that. I think that looks good. Now let's go ahead and select everything and put it back center origin so we see what it looks like. Okay, that's kind of fun, but you know, I'm working on a table runner, so I need a kind of a long rectangular design. So I'm going to take that, that USA and I'm going to put it on the other side. And click apply. And now I'll move it. Well, actually, what I'm going to do first is I think I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to place it over top of the first one. I'll change the color. I'm going to make it gold so you can see it better. And then with the text tool selected, I will right click and again hit envelope, but this time we want to do it pennant left. But the reason I'm putting it over top of the other is so that I can get my sizing the same, right? So I'm just moving this, making sure that it's going to be about the same size as the other one. And my U probably, the end needs to be just a little bit bigger. There we go. Okay, and now we're going to move that over to the opposite side. And, you know, if you're not sure if you're all set up, make sure that this center is grouped. Now, what if it wasn't grouped? So I'll go ahead and I'll ungroup that, right? So if this wasn't grouped, I would have a difficult time aligning all three items because I'm going to show you what it will do. We select everything and we hit align and it's not what you want, right? Definitely not what you want. So let's undo that. And that undo button is your favorite go-to button because you can't break software. You have undo and redo. So always have confidence in that. You can't break software. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to regroup that happy 4th of July portion of the design, all selected, hit group. And now I'll select all three elements and make it on the same plane, right? I can also, we'll use some of those other tools later. Isn't that fun? So, you know, the gold, well, might work, right? We could have both in the gold. It's not horrible, but, you know, what is my background color going to be? So let's go ahead and change that background color. Well, let's go to a soft gray. That looks kind of nice, not horrible, right? Maybe I would select that kind of fabric, or maybe I want a really pale yellow, like really, really pale yellow. Let's see. I don't know if I can make this happen. We'll see. Not horrible, really joyful, really summery, right? But let's go ahead and change that yellow thread to a medley, like our patriotic medley. Oh, look how fun. Isn't that fun? Okay, maybe the yellow is a little too much right there at that time, so let's just go to a soft gray, and now you can see the separation of the whites from the background fabric. And I see we have some questions here, so let me see. And Gaylord wants to know, you can only send wirelessly to Baby Lock and Brother. That's correct. At this time, they're the only two brands of machines that we send wirelessly to. And the reason for that is that some of the other machine brands, they actually, well, it's a very complicated technical thing that we really don't need to understand. But I can tell you on the Baby Lock Brother, it's wonderful, just wonderful. Just check it out. How do you get the free designs that are in the software show up in preview icon? Well, you have to have Perfect Stitch Viewer to see your designs. I think you're talking about on your computer in Explorer, right? So Perfect Stitch Viewer is the software program that turns all of your embroidery files into mini little thumbnails so that you can see them. Okay, so Betty Coley, you want to know how did you select the background color? So let's go ahead and do that again. Right down there in the corner, in the furthest right of the screen. I see where my mouse is, right above the social media icons. If you click on that icon, that little monitor, it will present you with a window that you can choose all these different colors, whatever color you'd like. Maybe you have a favorite color. Maybe you're trying to emulate fabric that you're going to be stitching on. So that's how you can do that really easily. Okay, so now let's go ahead and make sure we send that over to our machine. And here at the office, we have the baby lock today, so we'll just hit send. Now remember, at the bottom of the screen, look for that green bar that is illustrating the process. Oh, I love that. And the best part, oh, I can tell you some tricks about that wireless saving, is that you don't have to save an embroidery design. If you're just testing things out, you don't have to save it. You can just you can just send it as is. It's really cool. Okay, so we did the 4th of July. Now let's move over to a really fun little design, which is our flamingo. So all of these designs this flamingo is a free embroidery design from Perfect Embroidery Pro, which I believe is available to many people. So I made this stand tall and dream big. So I thought I would walk you through that, okay? So let's just start on a new screen, and not that one. We'll close that. Oh, 24. Okay. So over in in the properties box in the lower right-hand corner, we have 4 tabs. So one is the sequence, which is blank right now because I don't have a design on the screen. Next up is my embroidery designs, and then the shopping cart, which allows you to play with all Dime software in demo mode. Okay, so let's go back to my color, my designs, and you can move these windows, the borders of these windows, so that you can see what the contents are a little bit better. And I'm going to select on Perfect Embroidery Pro free designs. And when I do that, I can scroll through and find that flamingo. And of course, I'm not really sure where he is. But these are just some really fun designs that are very versatile. You know, you're going to have some sports, some flowers, some, you know, holiday items, all things that are really easy and fun to use. And where is my flamingo, folks? I swear it was here. Here we go. Okay. So let's go ahead and turn on the realistic, just because I think it looks better when you do that. And now we're going to add stand tall. And, you know, just like you use your shift key to do uppercase and lowercase, you do the same thing in embroidery software. Let me move all this kind of down a little bit so we can click apply. All right, there we have it. Then we have stand. And now we're going to add tall. And we still want to make sure that our text tool is selected. I can't remember if we did that all caps or not. Okay. And we'll move this over here. And we really do want it to stand tall, don't we? I mean, that's the whole message. So I can just take this and size it up so it really is standing tall. And play with this over here. And then we want to go to dream big. And this, okay, and we'll select a different font. Let's go ahead and use the Bauhaus. And instead of it just being straight line text, let's go ahead and select that with the text tool. And in type, I'm going to select circle and hit apply. And when I do, that's going to come on top. And that's not really what I want. I want to put dream big down here on the bottom. So I'll just hit the reverse direction button and click apply. And now I got something happening here, right? I can do a lot of changes. I can change my arc. Maybe I don't want it so curvy. I want it more of an oval. I can shrink it down or enlarge it. That's the shrinking down and enlarging it. I can also rotate those letters, the whole phrase. It doesn't have to be on the bottom. What will happen if we go all the way around, the text will be upside down, which is probably not desirable, right? But that's an awful lot of fun. Sometimes it's really, interesting to put it off center. And of course, let's change some of our colors. Let's go ahead and make that one purple. And let's make this maybe the pale pink. And the tall, I think we probably want to be that really bright pink because we really do want that message to stay, to have some impact. So all of these editing tools are in Embroidery Tool Shed. Now, Sandra Martinez she's saying she's going back to the pennant. Couldn't I have copied and pasted and changed the pennant direction? Yeah, I guess I could have. Sure, probably could have. But I didn't. So, like I said, you can't break embroidery software. That's right. There's no wrong way. There might be a way that I would take that is more labor intensive, but it's not really wrong, right? So, okay. Now I want to send that to my machine. So I don't even have to select it. It's on the screen. I just hit send to machine icon and select my machine and send it away. And there it goes, just that quickly. Okay. So now, many of you are probably wondering where you can get this package, this downloadable package. So I want to show you the special today, and it is only $129.99. But you can get this at your local Dime Elite dealer. So let's take a look at where you can find it. Okay, you caught me squinching down at my computer. There's a lot going on here, folks, let me tell you. Okay, so Esther Hopland, you want to know that you live in Canada. How can you order it? You can order it on our website. But if you live near one of those dealers, we would love it if you would support your local Dime Elite dealer, because without them, we wouldn't be here for sure. And Creative Appliques, our good friend Dawn there, says this is a very affordable software. It is a very affordable software program, probably the most affordable one in the industry to really get you started. So let's take a look at this cute little rooster over here. He reminds me of, or she, well, he, right? It's a rooster, reminds me of some kitchen tasks, right? So let's go ahead and say, kitchen closed. Oh, I'm not spelling right. And now I'm going to give you a little tip. When I do circular or arced text, I like to do all uppercase because it just appears better. It just really looks better. So here we have kitchen closed. Let's go ahead over to type and select circle. and click apply. And you see that little hand? When that appears, that means you're just moving the whole text and you're not making any other changes. I'm going to add another color and change the color of that font to black, just so it's really visual. Okay, let's get everything center screen. So I'm doing Control A, and then I'm going to right click on that ruler and hit center origin, and everything just fills the screen and it's in the center. Okay, so kitchen closed. Let's go ahead and select that text tool again, and we're going to lessen that arc a little bit, bring it down a little bit closer, and I think it could probably be a little, just a little smaller, right? So that's nice. Okay, so now with the text tool still selected, now I'm going to write, "This chick has had it." Oh, and I'm all caps. Now I don't want to be all caps. So with an exclamation mark, right? Boy, so many typos. And click apply. There we go. And we'll select that text. And again, we'll change that color. Select everything so you can see what I'm doing. And there you have it. Now, these are not really aligned, right? So we want to make sure that rooster is aligned. So I'm going to teach you a little trick here that I love to do this. So I select all of it. And then in the properties over in the color sequence, I right click and select view lock. And so now everything is locked. Everything is locked, meaning I can't click on anything at all. No matter what I try to click on, it will not allow me to do that. But what it has done is it has allowed me to now go in and just unlock my lettering. So I can unlock that lettering, move it aside, select my rooster. Well, that's still locked. So very easily, I can right click over in the color sequence and select view unlock all, and then select the rooster, and now I'll group it, and now it's grouped. So I can select everything and use my center align tool. Oh, that's really not what we wanted, is it? Because now my kitchen closed is up on top and my chick down here. So what I want to do is select all of it and then do center align horizontally. Perfect. I love it. So that's how easy that is. Now it's time to send that design over to the machine. And again, we'll select our baby lock. Now I can edit these machines. In fact, I can change the name of that to, office. Why don't I do that? And click OK and send. And changing the name doesn't change any of the technical aspects of sending the design. So let's go ahead and take a look at edit, right? Here is where you add your IP address, and that you're going to find on your machine. And that may change over time. We don't always have the same IP address. Like here at the office, it changes, maybe once a month, something like that. It isn't something that we control. At home, it's always the same. But so check that out. If you're having trouble, it's probably the IP address. You just make that change right here, click OK, and then you're good to go. All right. So let's see. Let's now go over to monogramming. Oh my gosh, because that's so much fun. Monogramming, so much fun. So first thing that we can do is we can select the monogram tool. And now this will allow any font in Embroidery Tool Shed Plus to behave like a monogram. So what does that mean? That means small first initial, large last initial, and small third initial. And by that third initial, so you're either going to have, if it's a monogram for one person, it would be on the left-hand side, the first name, the center large is the last name, and the smaller letter on the right-hand side is the middle name. If it's a couple, the man's going to be on one side and the woman's going to be on the other side, and y'all can fight about who's right all the time because it's changed. It used to be that a man was always on the left, but today we understand that, people do different things, and who cares? Just do what you want. There's no real rules. Okay, I have my text tool selected, and I can, again, remember, I can change any of the spacing by using those black diamonds and allowing them, giving me total freedom. I can resize that middle initial. That's kind of fun. I can take my one initial and I can take the other and stack them and maybe make them just a little bigger, right? So they fill that space. And that's probably snugged up a little too close, so we'll move that away. But you can play with this, and I kind of think that I would like to have these right on top of each other. And so now maybe I will reduce the size of the B so that it's more in tune, more in scale with the A and the B. And there you have it. So that's a really fun way to do monogramming. You can use any of the fonts that are in Embroidery Tool Shed Plus to make a monogram. I will tell you that those that are vertical, that are nice and straight without a slant, work best. Because let's go ahead and take a look at two different scripts. So here we have cursive, and we'll do that one first. And then again, I'm just going to take this and Control-C, copy, paste, and change the font of this one into Diana, which is a lovely font. But that looks kind of weird, right? It's not as pleasing in a monogram when it slants. So that's the difference. And so I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. And then that ABC, we can resize. We can do all kinds of fun stuff, right? But first, lastly, thing we're going to do is we're going to send it to the machine. I love that wireless feature. I can't tell you how much I use it. I do it all the time. And then, of course, I do take the time to go over to my machine and kind of clear it out. Okay, so yeah, I think you know why? Because that's not here. Okay, it's kind of, okay, no machine found because it's trying to send to my machine at home. So let's do it again, and we'll send it to the office, and there you have it. So if you inadvertently select the wrong machine, and you're not in that space with that machine, it just won't allow you to do it. So don't fret that too much. Okay, next up is, I want to show you how easy it is to create borders in this software, how useful it can be. So let me find this design. Okay, so here's just a pretty design, right? And of course, it's gorgeous as a standalone. It would look lovely on a napkin corner or something like that. But it could also create a really nice frame. So it is grouped, which is important because I want this to just be one element that I am going to repeat several times. So I'll do Control Copy and Paste. And I'll select both of these now and do Control Copy and Paste. And one more time we'll do that. And then we're going to select them all. And remember, I'm going to right-click, Center Origin, so we can see it. And now, they're not perfectly aligned, so let's do that. Let's go ahead and do that. Now they are. And I will select 4 or 5 of the 6. I'll do Control Copy and Control Paste. And now I want to rotate them over here. And I can line them up. So here, let me fill the screen as best I can for you. Now, what we want to make sure is that these are all evenly distributed. So I'm going to very carefully just select the ones on the top, and then I will use this icon to evenly distribute. Now, I want to make a full square, right? So I have these really helpful alignment guides that I like to use. And I am going to bring that all the way down to the bottom of the design, and this one all the way to the right side. And then I am going to select all but the last two. And I hope this is going to work. So I can grab that. Oh, come on. They're so close together, I guess. There we go. And we'll grab those. Okay, and I'm going to do Control Copy, Control Paste, and I can mirror it twice. And I have to move it off, but I'm going to use those alignment marks to make sure that I am perfectly aligned. And now you can see that I have my square. Isn't that great? So much fun. I love it. And of course, I'm going to send that over to my machine. Yep, Office and send. Well, I guess I have to select it. There we go. Well, I'm pulling a lot of juice here, so let's see. Okay, I think that we have kind of really covered everything about Embroidery Tool Shed. I hope that you learned a lot. What kind of questions do you have? I know many of you want to know what's the difference between Embroidery Tool Shed and Embroidery Tool Shed Plus. So the main difference is the ability to send wirelessly, 17 fonts that come with it, a slew of alignment tools that you don't get in Embroidery Tool Shed. You also have the ability to adjust the, change the color sequence, right? You can go in and remember I removed that horn on the unicorn, so you can just go in and select the yellow and pull that out. You can go in and pull out other portions of the design. You can group, you can ungroup. It is just awesome. You can just, it's just awesome. So Shirley Boykin wants to know, where can you pick up the free designs that you have missed? Well, those free designs are always on our software, on our homepage, www.dzgns.com. Just search for embroidery free designs and you'll find that drop-down menu right there. So you should take advantage of them all the time because they've, they're there for the picking, for the taking, and it's, we want you to use them. And they're going to go away January 1, so grab them while you can, for sure. Next week, we'll have Ashley Jones and Sue Brown will be back in the house. They'll be revealing the On the House project. And of course, they've got a great show in store for you that will be announced relatively soon. So stay tuned and watch for that announcement as to what is coming next. And after that, on July 2nd, which is, kind of a holiday week, but before you go off for the 4th of July, you can catch a software success with Ashley Jones, and you'll just love that. You'll just absolutely love that because, she just reveals so many secrets of embroidery like that in the software programs. I learn from her every week, so I hope that you're taking advantage of that too. So let's see, Cindy Burns says, then would you want to set it to default? So you would absolutely, if you have Embroidery Tool Shed and Embroidery Tool Shed Plus, then definitely set Embroidery Tool Shed Plus as your default because you'll have more features available to you at all times. So we could jump back into the software and I could show you how to do that. And so in the software over in the shopping cart, right down the bottom, right? So that list, I'm going to open this up so you can get a good look at just how many different software programs we have. There's quite a few, right? And the check mark here shows you what software programs I have activated right now on this computer. And if I didn't have anything activated, but I had Embroidery Tool Shed, then there would be a check mark in here. So after you would purchase Embroidery Tool Shed Plus, then click on the ellipse here with the 3 dots. And I have held down my control key when I clicked on the 3 dots so that I could only show you Embroidery Tool Shed Plus. So I'll do that again so you know how you would do it. So there we go. And that's going to be your default. And then you'll be good to go. Okay, so let's see. Well, April Taylor wants to know what program has the cross-stitch option conversion. Well, you stumped me there, April. Maybe somebody on my team can answer that. And Mary Hag wants to know what's the sewing order of the square that you made. Okay, that's a good question. So I can show you. So it's going to be in the order that I copied and paste, right? Okay, April Taylor, the answer is PEP. That answer is provided by Roy Garland, who is our absolute technical wizard here at Dime. So if there's a software question, he's the one with it. So I can use my stitch simulator and travel through this design to watch how they're going to stitch. And they're stitching in this sequence because this is how I copy and paste it. So let's go ahead and bring that software back up into the screen. And I'm using my sequence view, stitch simulator, slow redraw, whatever you want to call it. And notice it's stitching all those different elements separately. And I think if I select this whole thing, and I ungroup them, I could, well, let's not ungroup them just yet. So we probably like that segment, right? But maybe I'd like it to go here next. So I can take that and move that up after number 5. So you'll see there's my last one. And then let's see. Okay, we'll go down. So I need to move this one up. So you can play with these. You most certainly can regroup, but reset the sequence as you see fit. And you can go all through the whole program to do that. Yeah. Super easy to do, and you have lots of options. And remember, you can't break software, so don't ever worry about that. Just have fun, play with it. It's just like last week we had someone tell us that they've owned a monster hoop for like 8 months and they have never used it. And I said, goodness, go out into your garage and find a towel that you use to like wash the car or something and throw it in a hoop, in the monster hoop, and stitch. Just put a monogram on that, or put dirty or clean, you know, whatever you want, just to get familiar with the process and the product. And I'm hoping that that viewer took up my advice, and I hope she comes back and says, oh, I used it, I love it, I don't know why I've used any other hoops since. So anyway, it's all good. All righty. What else do we have in store? Oh, did we lose that? Okay, so we have Ashley is going to be back here on July 2nd, which is going to be here next week. And then she'll follow up with Software Success on July 2nd. And then you would love to be notified, I'm sure. So we would appreciate it if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel and also like us on Facebook. It really helps us out and lets us know that we're providing content that you want. So I'm about to reveal the new On the House project. I mean, not project, but design for you. And it's got a great summer theme. So before I do that, let's take a look at what you've been stitching. Oh, that island girl is so cute. You can still get all those designs right on our website. Remember, dzgns.com. Go to Design and Projects and Free Designs, and you'll find them all there. So this week's free design is this summer fun. Oh, it's got all the symbols of summertime: watermelon, starfish, beach balls, sunglasses on the sun, and an umbrella, and a cool drink, and so forth. So I hope that you'll take advantage and download that. The sun is using HTV. That's what we used, our glitter. And we just love the little sparkle that it gives to it. So it's super cute. And thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate it. And Ashley will be here next week. We won't be broadcasting on the 4th of July. So I'll see you on the 11th, I guess, of July. So thanks for joining me. Have a great day. Take advantage of that special, which is $129.99. Such affordable software. You're going to love it. Remember, you can't break it. Just use it and learn it.